Peter's story in John 21 is one of the most tender and intentional moments in all of Scripture. And if you pay attention to the Greek words Jesus and Peter use, you can actually see Jesus meeting Peter right where his heart is. Not where it used to be, and not where it should have been, but where it honestly is. After the resurrection, Peter is back on the water doing the one thing he knows: fishing. Jesus appears on the shore, cooks breakfast, and invites them to sit down with him. And then John includes a small detail we can't miss. There's a charcoal fire. The last time Peter stood by a charcoal fire was the night he denied Jesus 3 times. The same smell, the same crackle, and the same setting. Jesus isn't trying to shame Peter. He's recreating the moment so he can heal it. They eat breakfast together. Then Jesus begins the conversation that will restore Peter's heart and recommission his life. After breakfast, Jesus looks at Peter and says, "Simon, son of John, do you agape me?" Agape is the highest self-giving kind of love, the love Peter once claimed he had, but failed to live out. And Peter answers, "Lord, you know I phileo you." And phileo means brotherly affection, genuine, real, but not the sacrificial devotion Peter once promised. Peter won't exaggerate this time. He won't say more than his heart can honestly give. So Jesus asks again, "Do you agape me?" And Peter replies again, "Lord, you know I phileo you." And then Jesus does something shocking. On the 3rd time, Jesus switches his word. "Simon, son of John, do you phileo me?" Jesus comes down to the level Peter can actually say out loud. And Peter's grieved. Not because Jesus doubts him, but because Jesus meets him exactly where his love is real. And Jesus doesn't demand the love Peter should have. He accepts the love Peter does have. And then Jesus gives him 3 commissions, one for each wound of denial. Feed my lambs, shepherd my sheep, and feed my sheep. Jesus isn't just forgiving Peter. He's restoring his calling. Then Jesus tells him the truth about his future. You're going to stretch out your hands one day. You're going to glorify God even in your death. And you're going to finish well. And then he just says, "Follow me." Same words Jesus spoke at the very beginning of Peter's journey, spoken again after his greatest failure. I love this story. I get a little emotional. But what I love most is that Jesus doesn't pretend nothing happened. He also doesn't hold Peter's failure over him. He recreates the same setting, the same fire, the same atmosphere, not to rub salt in the wound, but to pull the shame out by the root. Jesus is rewriting Peter's memory. He's replacing the moment of denial with the moment of restoration. Where Peter once said, "I don't know him," Jesus now gives him the space to say, "You know I love you." Grace reframes the past. Jesus heals the memory so Peter can step into his future. Peter's story is not the story of a man who did everything right. It's the story of a man who failed spectacularly and was restored even more spectacularly. And the Greek words matter because they show us how Jesus treats us. He doesn't force us to pretend. He doesn't ask us to promise what we can't deliver. He doesn't demand a level of love we don't yet have. He meets us. He receives what we can honestly give, and then he grows us from there. Jesus ends the whole moment with 2 words: "Follow me." And that invitation is still open. The relationship is still alive, and the calling is still intact. If you've ever felt like your failure disqualified you, look at this moment with Peter. Jesus doesn't restore him privately. He restores him publicly in front of the disciples because Peter failed publicly. Grace covers the place where shame once lived. And Jesus doesn't just forgive Peter, he recommissions him. Feed my sheep, lead my people, and follow me. And your failure isn't the end of your calling. With Jesus, restoration always comes packaged with purpose. Stay roaming, rooted, and radiant.